Hello, everybody. Um, Starting out, I wanted to discuss a controversy about this gamer girl who was complaining that she was being used in uh, deep fake um, pornography. Here's the clip in
If you are able to look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually, they're not benefiting, they're not selling it, they're not platforming it themselves. If you are able to look at that, you are the problem. You see women as an object. You should not be okay doing that. And it should not be a part of my job to have to pay money to get this stuff taken down. It should not be part of my job to be harassed, to see pictures of me nude spread around. It should not be something that is found on the internet. It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be a part of my job. And the fact that it is exhausting. And the person that made that website, I'm going to sue you. This is what it looks like to feel violated. This is what it looks like to feel taken advantage of.
so um, Now, what are my initial thoughts? Yeah, that should have been illegal to do, obviously, just as all pornography should be illegal to create. But she's going at it from this sort of feminist argument of, oh, pornography. If you're a woman who works in pornography, then you're letting men pleasure themselves to you, and oh, so misogynistic. Um, So yeah, pornography should be illegal. It should be illegal to create pornography. It should be illegal to sell pornography. It should be illegal to buy pornography. It should be illegal to look at pornography. But I but are we going to do this? Are we going to make these laws to because it's misogynistic, whatever that means? Um, yeah, misogynistic. No, we're going to do it because pornography is part of a social Marxist globalist plot to replace white people with blacks and browns. Um, the same case with stuff like masturbation, these white women getting abortions, these white women taking contraceptives, and white men taking contraceptives. Um, uh, Heterosexual sodomy. It's all the same, and um, the Jews are doing it because this way they can get white people to orgasm without the end result of that being uh, white children. Therefore, there are less white children. Therefore, less white people. Therefore, the less white people there are, the less white people there are to replace, thus making their job easier. A simple concept, but a quite dangerously effective one at that. And this is part of the reason why the rates of homosexuality have been going up so high. Um, when the pornography that Jews are pushing, especially on white men, is a lot of gay pornography. It's a lot of trans pornography. It's a lot of interracial pornography. A lot of pornography that fetishizes Asian women. So it's when you look at these places, um, Pornhub or whatever, um, they're all there to make it so there's as few white people as possible, because these organizations, these huge multi-billion-dollar companies like Pornhub, are owned and run by social Marxist globalists. Yeah, regarding the original video that has gotten people talking about this subject, why do gamer girls exist? Why would anyone want to watch a woman play a video game when you could just as easily watch a man play a video game? Yeah, so how these gamer girls have any followers at all is astounding. I guess, well, I think it's part of I don't know. I guess because a lot of people are masturbating to them, probably. Um, but I guess that's another reason to ban gamer girls and ban women from playing video games. Less masturbation. But I wanted to talk about something else now. So Marjorie Taylor Greene went viral for this tweet about how the states need to separate. I probably should have written this down, but let me see if I can just look it up really quick. Okay, so I guess I should have downloaded that, but the tweet was, "Oh, these traitorous Democrats are causing too many problems. The red states and the blue states need to separate." So, is she wrong on this issue? Yeah, obviously, but it's not wrong in the same way a lot of people are saying. We don't need to get Republicans and Democrats to separate from each other. We need to turn the Democrats into Republicans. That's what she should have said. We're not going to split America in half. We're going to keep America united, but turn it so it's 50 red states, 50 bright red, blood red states. We need to these places like California, we need to introduce a single party system into their government, and a single party system in the government on a federal level as well for just the Republican Party. And a good Republican Party. We're not talking about cucks like Donald Trump's vice president, or Mike Pence, or Jeb Bush, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, for that matter. Real Republicans like me, real conservatives like me. Yeah, so the gamer girl definitely went viral. I really don't get, yeah, you know what? We should pass laws that make it illegal for women to buy video games and illegal for women to play video games. That on the federal level, that needs to happen. Make it a felony for a woman to play a video game. Great idea in my opinion. So, I don't know, maybe this is a tad bit inappropriate, but I thought I would use some of today's episode. I think for tomorrow it will be all politics and news, nothing else, like all the previous episodes. But I could talk about something other than politics. I wanted to start a conversation on what your guys' Christmas was like, because I don't know. You can write it in the comment section what your Christmas was like, because my last Christmas was awful. It was so awful. So it was Christmas Eve, and I was so sick, so sick. So I I didn't go to our Christmas Eve dinner that we do every year, and usually on Christmas Day, um, for Christmas morning, we where we open presents all together and we eat cinnamon rolls for breakfast. And it's this Christmas tradition that's been here since I was like a toddler, and it's something I look forward to every year. And I had to stay home in bed uh, through that, um, because I was sick, and it was like so during COVID-19, it was like when you look at these liberal places and these liberal families, they were turning everything into Zoom. You're going to have a Zoom birthday party. You're going to have a Zoom wedding. You're going to have a Zoom funeral. Granted, rule doesn't apply to the elites who went out there anyways, and you're going to go to work through Zoom. So everything's going to be Zoom, and it's going to be a Zoom life and a Zoom death and a Zoom birth. But it was like that for Christmas, like, because um, my parents uh, and but they're like pretty cocked, both of them. But although my whole family is that way, everyone in my family other than me. But because it was like, well, you're so sick, we don't want you to come because you'll infect everyone else with your sickness. So how about you like you go onto Zoom and watch other people open the presents you gave them. And I was like, that sounds awful, but they wanted me to do it, so they saved my presents for the presents I gave them, and then did that over Zoom, and they expected me to watch it. Yeah, definitely worst Christmas ever. But that would be bad enough on its own. But um, this year's Christmas had just a awful turn, because so that year we were going to go to Disneyland to celebrate Christmas. We would fly on Christmas Day after the present opening, and then we would get to Disneyland. We would stay in the Disneyland hotel. We would be there for 3 days. We would spend 2 days at the beach, and then we would fly back home. So I said, I think I'll just stay. But my parents made me come because they thought it would be a waste of money if I didn't come. So they made me come. So I rode the plane while sick. And then I got to Disneyland, and I was everyone must have thought I was extremely rude, because I was like vomiting at Disneyland. Like, I was waiting in line, and then I would like vomit, and I'd be like, "Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry if I got anything on your shoes, sir." Um, I was constantly spitting because I kept coughing up phlegm. So I was always coughing up phlegm, so I was just always spitting. And yeah, it was just the whole time and then there was vomiting, and just felt terrible. And then it got so bad that I was about to faint. This was on our third day. I was about to faint. So my dad took me to the Disneyland hospital, and but they didn't have any of the medicine I needed. I asked for NyQuil. They didn't have that. I was asking for all these different types of medicines, not all alcoholic medicines, some normal medicines that you always have around the home, but they didn't have any of that. They didn't have any medicine. So I badly asked, like, I need to get some shut eye. So they said, well, you can be in this room, but you're on these tiny little like metal bed things. There's bright shining lights. There's a bunch of other people loudly talking in there, and they wanted me to wear a mask the whole time, even though I was sick and could barely breathe because of my sickness. So that was awful. It's not like I'm going to get sleep there. I'm not going to get sleep that way. But then I was there for about half an hour, and then they kicked me out for coughing too much. So we left Disneyland, left it early. And then my sickness got worse and worse and worse. The day after that, I was so sick I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed to even take a shower. And I was so sick, I refused to drink. My parents were pushing liquids on me the whole day, and I was refusing to drink because I was so sick. My throat swelled up. So it was like this tiny little hole in my throat. So I was saying I can barely breathe as is. Could you imagine how hard it's going to be breathe when I have liquid going down my throat? I'm just not drinking. And it hurt so bad I didn't want anything to touch it. So I was refusing to drink, even though I was badly sick. I refused to take a shower. I was refusing to shower because I was too sick to get out of bed. I was literally too sick to stand up. But the next day, I was good enough to actually get out of bed and go to the hospital. Not the Disneyland hospital, that was useless. That was worth diddly squat, but a real hospital with real drugs. And I tested negative for COVID. I tested negative for strep. I tested negative for the flu. So I don't know what I had. I swear it was COVID. It felt so much like COVID. I don't know. But then they wanted to make me fly back, but this was when I was crazy sick. So yeah, they actually tried to make me they made me fly, like, in that situation. So I was at the hospital. I was constantly spitting everywhere because I was constantly coughing up phlegm, so I was constantly spitting. And throughout the hospital, like, when I was in the bathroom washing my hands, I would just spit on the floor just to get the phlegm out of my system. But I'm like a very, very light sleeper. So my parents would be like, oh, just take a nap while you're on the plane, so then you won't have to be through the misery. And it's like, I am such a light sleeper. There's only like a few hours during the 24-hour period that I actually am capable of falling asleep. Because so how am I going to do that when I'm on the plane with annoying people talking and I'm miserably sick and I have a mask on? Because they made me wear a mask. Again, they're cuffed, and I was super sick, so it was like, you have to wear a mask. It was a bad day to have parents or a family with liberal viewpoints. But so I was in the plane, and then the person next to me definitely got my sickness because the whole time I was coughing, there was this big pile of Kleenexes covered in phlegm and I almost said cum. um, sorry for the foul language, but in phlegm and snot, and like those little like trays you put down, like there was a big pile on top of mine. By the end of that, I had to throw up into a little paper bag in front of you. And so at that point, I was finally able to get home, and I was sick for a month. I was sick for a whole month, and that's not a joke. I was literally sick for a month. Once I got back home, I visited the hospital again. I was in and out of the hospital over and over and over again. I swear I think I drank like 2 or 3 gallons of NyQuil during that time period, and and in addition to that, a gallon of Dayquil. I swallowed hundreds and hundreds of pills during that time. That's in addition to the normal pills I swallow because um, I have like a thyroid issue and a condition that makes you like regurgitate all the time, and um, some like I'm also like malnourished um, and that sort of thing. So I always take pills to help with those different problems. But in addition to that, in that month I took like several hundred pills to help specifically with the sickness. But so I I did all of that, and um yeah, worst Christmas ever, am I right? I I guess I have a bad habit of looking at the screen. I should probably be looking at you guys, shouldn't I? Maybe I need to do something with my screen because it shows me what I look like, and um maybe that's a sign of narcissism that I keep looking this way, but yeah, maybe I need to change my setting to get it better. Well, yeah, make sure to leave in the comment section if you have ever had a terrible Christmas or what your Christmas is like or anything like that. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could also leave in the comment section whether you like it when I sort of talk about non-political issues and just sort of mess around with my show, or you want me to just do news and politics and nothing else. I guess I didn't have a lot to talk about today, so I thought I'd sort of mess around with some other things. But yeah, a lot of these news sites I've noticed have. It's kind of funny how everyone has just totally admitted that, yeah, the conspiracy theorists were right. Um, COVID-19 was created, like man-made, created in a lab in Wuhan. Um, and yeah, everyone's admitted that. All the liberals have admitted that they were wrong and we were right. Um, but it's, I think what they aren't talking about is why it was created. It's funny. It was man-made, created, and then once it was created, excuse me, these excuse me, these like big pharma companies made billions and billions off of the pandemic, and these big pharma companies didn't want to say this, but they're all run by social Marxist globalists. And yeah, so I don't know. It's like everyone's saying, you guys were right. It was man-made. It was created in a lab. But no one is saying why it was created or who created it. Who created it? That's what we need to be talking about. And it was by the people who run the world, run America since its founding. I don't know. I think I'm going to call it good for today's video. Goodbye.